Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your man Mike, Coach Michael 9X. Hope all is well. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Want to welcome you guys to the week 2 of the coaching program, the trial. So week 1, hope you had a good, successful week where we were doing our eating schedule of 2 to 3 meals per day, no snacks in between. That is what you wanted to do. Now this week, we're going to just try to do 2. So if you're doing 3, do 2. If you were doing 2 already, just keep doing 2, all right? But just remember, don't have any snacks in between. If you can, do so. Do your best. Replace those snacks with some type of liquid, coffee, with no sugar, tea, no sugar, obviously, but no snacks, okay? Now, this week, we're gonna go into a little bit of the framework of fasting structure. And we're going to go into the list of category foods, primary foods, some supplements, maybe a little bit of water, and then some fasting options. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, share my screen. And the first thing I want to pull up is the framework for your fasting. Okay, go here to my notes here. And documents, and where is my I think this is it right here. No, that's not it. One second. Sneezies. So let me find this real quick. So what we want to do here is we want to find the fasting, the protocol or framework for your fasting, okay? And this is going to help you identify a good schedule for your fasting. Where is, give me a second, I'm trying to find, I just had it up here. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Primary foods. Come on, come on. Can't find it here all of a sudden. Where is it at? Oh man. Wait a second. It's not under, no, it's not here. Where is it at? I cannot find it for some reason. I just had it. All right, so let me just go here first. Let's just go with, let me just go here first. All right, we're gonna go here first. I'm gonna go here first. I can't find nothing on here. I just put all the stuff yesterday, and now here we go. Okay, so let's go here first. All right. So when it comes to fasting, obviously fasting is the point where you're not eating. Okay. And so that's the fasting state. Now the fed state is what we have to look at. And what we have to look at is, okay, what should we be eating when we do fast? Now, if you notice, this is like a pyramid. Remember the food pyramid that they gave, the whack food pyramid, then they turned into a food plate, but that wacky whack food pyramid that was getting everybody sick. At the bottom was breads and grains and potatoes and starches, all this kind of stuff. And then at the top was fats. It was ridiculous. It's a horrible food pyramid. And that's what got everybody sick. Okay. So if you look at this food pyramid, you can see at the bottom is tons of vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. Okay. Then eggs, stuff like that, eggs, some meats, fish, some meats here again, some berries here, fruits here on this level. Okay. Nuts, which, if you do nuts, I don't eat nuts as much like that. I really don't eat nuts at all. But veggie oils, which is more so like olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. I wouldn't recommend like vegetable oil or canola oil. Not good at all. Okay, butter, creams, and then coconut oil and coffee, things like that. Okay, so this is like a food pyramid. Now there's another one that I wanted to bring up. I believe I know I have it. Here it is. Now these are the options. Okay, these are some food options. All right. So when we talk about what we should be eating, what we should be trying to eat, we want to look at this list. Okay, and we want to kind of take into consideration the foods that are on this list. And you may not have you may not eat all of these things, and that's a great thing. You don't have to make your diet so extravagant. It can be as simple as possible. Just find foods that you enjoy. Okay, now there may be some foods on here that you don't eat. Like there are foods on here that I don't eat. Like I don't eat pork. Okay, I don't do a whole lot of nuts. I do seeds, but I don't do nuts like that. I don't drink diet soda. I drink coffee, tea, and water. Okay, so you have to pick and choose what you're going to fulfill, what foods you're going to put in your framework of options so that you can be satisfied, one, taste-wise, and be satisfied through the actual food itself, satiety-wise. Like for me, for instance, I don't see all these vegetables. I don't eat all these vegetables. My main vegetables, asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. And there's one on here that's not on here. There's one that I eat that's not on here, which is bok choy. But those are my main vegetables: asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. That's it. I don't do all these. I mean, I eat them, but they're not my staples, right? I don't eat a lot of fruit, but if I were, these would be the ones I would eat. Mainly berries. I love blueberries. Blueberries is one of my favorite. Raspberries, like I love all the berries: blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, cranberries, raspberry and strawberries. And so now down here, grains, I will stay away from the grains for right now. Okay, I will stay away from the grains for right now. The grains you can add in, once you have accomplished the goal of becoming insulin sensitive again. Once you're insulin sensitive again, then you can add in, some brown rice with your meal here and there, because now your body has become regulated. But right now, because you're insulin resistant, you don't want to be eating a whole lot of grains. So this is not something that I would recommend at this time. Okay? At this time. Come here. Okay? I would recommend that at this time. You gotta be a good girl. I'm talking to my dog. You gotta be a good girl. Okay? So I would recommend those options at this stage of the game. Okay. Your oils. Now again, if we're going to look at these things for weight loss purposes, okay, you might do some things, but if you want to look at this for health, there's certain things you don't want to eat all of these things on here. Like for instance, let's go to the oils. You want to stay away from peanut oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil. Those oils are not good oils. They're not good. They're unhealthy for your heart. Okay. You want to stick with the olive oil. Oh, and margarine. You don't want to do margarine. Margarine has vegetable oil in it. You want to do olive oil. Cod liver oil is good. Coconut oil, butter, real butter, and again, avocado oil is good as well. So you want to look at this list and say, okay, well, what is good for my health and what is good for my overall goal, which is weight loss. Okay. So now, what are some of the frameworks that you can do? Okay. I'm going to look this up. I had this thing. I don't know what I did with it. Go here. I know I have it because I looked at it yesterday, and for some, here we go. Here it is. Right in front of my face. I couldn't see it. All right. So the framework, all right, which we're going to get into for next week. This week we're doing, hope I can zoom this. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Can you see this? All right. I can't make it larger. So we can make it larger. Exit. So, all right, I'll keep it here. So for instance, the idea for our fast for if you want to experiment with this, you can this week. But if you're not ready, then you can hold off to next week, because next week is when we're going to introduce the 16-8. Okay. So, but what we typically do is we skip breakfast. Okay, we skip breakfast. All right. So in the morning, okay, you would skip breakfast. See, you see here it says skip breakfast on day one, and then you're kind of going all the way. You're going to go all the way past this breakfast time, okay, all the way to 12 o'clock. All right. And then you're going to have it, as you can see here, this is what it is. See? So this is what some of you could be doing right now. Most of you are probably doing this at this point. You're having breakfast, lunch, and your dinner is between 4 and 6. All right. So this is what most of you are doing right now: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. However, what we want to do is at some point, like next week, we're going to skip the breakfast and go right to lunch. Okay. We're going to skip the breakfast and go right to lunch. That's called a 16-8. So you're going to fast for 16 hours and have an 8-hour window of eating between 12 and 8. Okay. All right. And then on, and so you're only going to do that like maybe twice a week until you get used to it. The other days you're going to have your, have your 3 meals or 2 meals, whatever you want to do. So that 16-8 schedule is a schedule where you're only fasting for 16 hours, overnight included, and you're having an 8-hour window to eat. Now, based on what you choose to eat, based on what those foods, the food options are, will determine how hungry you become again within that 8 hours. Now, within that 8 hours, you can eat your foods and you can snack. So you have an 8-hour window to feast. Now, this may work well for a lot of you. You may say, well, you know what, 16-8 works well for me. I'm losing my weight. I'm changing. My body's changing. I'm getting healthier. Because in that 8 hours, you're changing what you're eating. You're not eating all the processed foods, the high sugar foods. You're not eating a lot of junk. You're eating some of the foods that's on that list. And your body is beginning to change hormonally and how it responds to those foods. Now, if you find that you're not changing like you would like, then you have to shorten that feeding window. So if it's 16-8, 16 fasting, 8 feeding, now you go to 18-6. So now you fast for 18 hours and shorten your feeding window. So you're shortening your feeding window as you need to based on the results that you're trying to get. Okay, that's how that works. All right, let's see if I can get out of here now. Okay, so that is how that works. All right. Now let's talk about. We're going to go into the 16-8 next week even more in more detail. I'm going to have a chart and everything to show you how that works. But now what I want to do is go into primary foods. I want to talk about primary foods. Okay. Because you can say, well, primary foods. What are primary foods? Like, what's that about? Okay, what are primary foods? Did we just talk about foods? Isn't what I put in my belly primary when I'm hungry? Of course. Okay. No. Primary foods are a little bit different than what you would think they are. Okay, so let's read it here. Primary foods, nutrition is a secondary source of energy. Primary foods or non-food source of nourishment are what really fuel us. As children, we all live on primary food. Lovers thrive on the pure bliss and peace that they are experiencing, while passionate entrepreneurs are fueled by their work. The excitement and rapture of daily life can feed us more completely than any food. So imagine children playing outside with friends. At dinner time, their mother calls them, "Time to come in and eat." "No, mommy, I'm not hungry yet." They respond. At the table, the mother dutifully ensures that the children leave no morsel behind. The children reluctantly force down the minimum requirement, eager to get back outside and play. At the end of the day, they return exhausted and satisfied. They quickly fall asleep without thinking about food at all. Can you remember being deeply in love? Everything is light and warm, colors are vivid, and life is full of joy. You're high on your love's presence, sustained and exhilarated by the blissful connection. You float on air, and food becomes secondary. Think back to a time when you were involved in an exciting work project. You believed in what you were doing wholeheartedly and felt confident and stimulated. Time stopped, and the outside world was muted. Food was an afterthought. Now recall a time you were depressed or experiencing low self-esteem. You were starving for primary food. No matter how much you ate, you never felt satisfied. The need for love, power, or more acknowledgement drove the desire for excess food. So primary food goes beyond the plate, nurturing us on a deeper level for more. And here are the four main primary foods: career, relationships, physical activity, and spirituality. The more primary food we give ourselves, the less we depend on secondary food. On the contrary, the more we fill ourselves with secondary food, which is edible, the less we leave for primary food, our true source of nourishment. Many religions and cultures practice fasting to reduce secondary food, opening channels to receive a greater amount of primary food. Take some quality time to explore your personal balance between primary food and secondary food, which area could use some attention. And so, what will help us successfully achieve fasting is we cannot make our secondary food our primary food. And this is what our culture here in America has done. It has made secondary food the focal point of every social interaction. Whereas now the food becomes the main attraction than the actual social event. So we have to put more primary food or become more primary food oriented in our daily lives so that we don't make secondary food the issue. Now we begin to draw away from secondary food because now we're not desiring it anymore. We're putting our mind and focus on something completely different. Okay. Now, supplements and water. Supplements are a very important component to this process. I'm gonna go into here, go here real quick so we can look at supplements. Give me a second. So supplements are very important process, component to this process, because secondary food. Let me see, nutrition, education. For instance, vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D is a very important supplement. Okay, I hope that you guys are supplementing with vitamin D on a daily basis. It's good for our immune systems. Okay, you get it through sunlight, or you can get it through supplementation. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient that plays a key role in almost all of our physiological functions as an immune support system regulator. Vitamin D is absolutely vital to vibrant health. It's only the only vitamin that your body makes itself, and it's actually a hormone. So, although there are many forms of vitamin D, the two most common types of vitamin D are vitamin D3 and vitamin D2. It's not the I'm sorry. Vitamin D is a very, very powerful vitamin. Okay, it helps with osteoporosis, hypertension, cancer, autoimmune disease, and as we know today, it's very, very helpful against fighting and aiding in fighting COVID-19 and viruses. So this is one vitamin. There are many other ones. I mean, you can definitely want to get a mineral. You definitely want to get a mineral vitamin, because when you're fasting, you're not getting in the minerals because you're not eating a lot of different foods. And so you want to get the minerals in your body, you know, electrolytes, potassium, sodium, magnesium, different minerals that are essential for your health. You want to get those vitamins in. You want to, get a multivitamin. Okay, those are critical. Okay, because when you do begin fasting, you're not going to probably not eat all that you need to eat within that period to get all the nutrients. So to supplement will be good to help fill those voids. Okay. So, and always getting some vitamin D from sunlight is always good. Okay. All right. Water, you can make sure that you get, water is good. Okay. But you want to make sure that you just get some good quality water. Some good quality, high pH water. And you don't need to guzzle water a gallon a day. Just drink when you're thirsty, but make sure that when you drink, you get a lot of good quality water when you drink it. Because if you're eating foods that are high in water, you're getting water through your vegetables and through your fruits. So you shouldn't, you don't need to always drink your water. You can also eat your water. Okay. So that's a good thing. Okay. So, there is okay, I gave you guys the shopping list. All right, so that's it, guys. So that's pretty much it for this week. Remember, all we're going to do this week is you want to focus, on your 2 to 3 meals. Try to do 2, no snacking. Start to look at the list of foods that you can go and shop for. Okay, get acquainted with that list. I hope that you go back to where we did the list on this video. Write down some of the foods that you like on that list and go and get those foods. Start putting those foods into your house. Start replacing what's in your cabinets, in your in your pantry, and your cupboards, and your fridge. Start taking those foods, those garbage foods out, and putting the good ones in that's on that list. Okay. Go out and start to explore some good multivitamins. If you need some recommendations, I have one for you, which I use. I love it. This vitamin supports all the systems in my body. Okay, as well as a good vitamin D. So, and focus on your primary foods. Remember, your primary foods is key. What how we live our life, primary food, and then that will help take care of the secondary food. All right. Have a wonderful day. So listen, if you have any questions, again, comment in the group. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any issues. Remember, no snacking in between your meals. Drink coffee, tea, plenty of water. You can also do like a bone broth. You can make a bone broth. I'll put up a video on some bone broth ideas. Okay, I'll find one and look, go on YouTube and find a bone broth video idea, post it up there. All right. So if you have any questions, just comment, send me a message. Hopefully this is helpful for you. We're going to be doing our workouts this week, and let's keep it going. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what challenges that you're having. But I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. This does not have to be complicated. This is simple. This is about, trying to find out what you need to do when you're not eating, so that, if you're hungry, we can fix the hunger with liquids. Okay. When it's time to eat, put the right foods in front of you so that you can eat them, so that you can become satiated. All right. That's all we're trying to do. is when you're not eating, trying to fight hunger. When you're eating, trying to be satiated so that you can fight hunger. That's it. And then exercise and when you're not eating. That's all we're trying to do. It's all this. That's the name of the game. And doing that, mastering that sequence, mastering that cycle. That's it. We can master that, then we will start to see progress. And then we can kind of strengthen it and make it better, fine tune it as we go. Okay. Well, this is your man, Coach Mike. Hope all is well. I will see you guys in the group. Talk to you soon. Peace out. Right. Okay. It's not coming. There we go. Go here.